Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 420. Oh, big 420. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
We really should have planned something.
Should we? Should we have?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, I just maybe we should have smoked for the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if the show would have been made, but
It would have just consisted of me having a panic attack and then be like, I can't do this.
it's just me texting you. I feel awful. I'm sorry.
I can't record today. I'm sorry. We tried the weed thing. It didn't work. Oh, God. This week on the show, we'll be talking about James Wan's latest Malignant, which is out now on HBO Max and in theaters. We'll also be going over some we're watching on the watch list and this week's new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us today. You can help us out by reviewing us on iTunes. That would be extremely helpful. I think we can just jump straight into our review, talking about Malignant. I have a synopsis here. Madison is paralyzed by shocking visions of grisly murders, and her torment worsens as she discovers that these waking dreams are in fact terrifying realities. Again, this is directed by James Wan, who, as most of you may know, is responsible for the Saw, the first Saw. He directed the first Saw. He did Insidious. He did The Conjuring. So a lot of very popular horror franchises. He also did Aquaman most recently. Yeah, he wanted to go back. He wanted to make that Aquaman money so that he could go back and do this horror movie. So we'll start with you, Kevin. What were your initial impressions of Malignant?
well, first off, I knew nothing about this, and if you remember, I didn't learn about it until last week when we recorded, which I found very, very strange that I just did not hear a single word about a new James Wan movie.
I didn't hear about it until very, very late. Also,
that was slightly confusing. Because there's a part of me that's like, he didn't direct this. This is made up. But I watched it and it exists. And not knowing what this was about, I think really helped it, being completely blind going in. I'm still really confused as to how James Wan is like a big deal and people really like him. I just don't get it. I just can't understand it at all. But a lot, like with this movie, it's really, for me, the thing that's difficult is I feel like he really, really telegraphs everything. Everything is so dumbed down in terms of like where the scares are supposed to be placed. Like I can tell, like as soon as a scene starts, I know exactly what he's going to do. I know when a door opens and the person looks behind it, there's not going to be anything there. But then when he slowly closes the door, someone's going to be behind him. Like, just those little things, which I find really annoying. But I did appreciate how ridiculous this movie is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know how anyone else felt about this. But again, like he telegraphed it way too early. Like, off the bat. And there was just a part of me that was like, I really hope that he commits to that because that's what he set up. And of course he does. So that's great. But again, there was just like no surprise element for me.
Yeah, I mean, the opening scene does sort of tip it, show its hand a little bit. I mean, you see sort of the villain, the creature, whatever you want to call it, in the opening scene, so you know that there's like something going on there. I enjoyed this movie overall. I agree with you that most of it is completely telegraphed. I was concerned that they were going to go really deep into the whole like, oh, it's all in her head. It's a split personality, like that type of thing. And I can tell you right now, I know that I'm not the only person who is sick and tired of movies where it's like, oh, is it all in her head? Is it a split personality? Is she crazy? I can tell you right now, in this movie, it doesn't go down that route. It goes down a more skewed route, which I it really enjoyed because, like you, I was like, I really hope that he just doubles down on where this is going and just fully embraces how ridiculous it is, and he 100% does.
Yeah.
This is
silly as hell.
Yeah, this is a movie where when the quote unquote like twist happens, when the big reveal happens, you're just like, what the fuck? where are you going with this? And can we just see more of what's happening here? And it turns like the movie completely changes course after this, and it almost turns into this like action movie of sorts. And I think it's really fun. Like I really enjoyed how this played out.
Yeah, for me, I just really wish he wouldn't have tipped his hand so much throughout the beginning, because like I said, that opening, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that this is what it's going to be, and I'm just wondering like how is he gonna pull this off, like the logistics of it. And then as soon as you first see like the villain, quote unquote, like move, I was like, oh, okay, well that's silly. Is that what it's going to be? Because that's really bizarre. And that's what the thing that kind of bothered me with the reveal. I'm like, yeah, I already know that. Like why do you telegraph everything so much?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with that too, but it was just the other thing is like it was just so ridiculous and over the top that like even though I knew very early on like what was happening here, it didn't bother me too much. With that being said, I agree with you that it would have been way more impactful if everything was kept under wraps very closely until that big reveal, because then it would be a true like what the fuck moment. Like you just be like, this movie just pulled a complete 180, because up until that point, if you take out all of the bits and pieces that sort of showed how this was going to play out, if you took all that away, what you have here is a fairly standard like kind of supernatural movie that has a little bit of like a kind of a psychic link type thing that's going on. And it's pretty standard, aside from some really cool visual moments. There's this really great scene where she's kind of running through the house, and it's like the overhead shot that goes through the house, and it tracks her above her through the house. I think that was a really great shot, probably one of the best in the movie. But I feel like James Wan is sort of drawing influence almost from Lee Wanell, who's his partner on Saw, where a lot of the camera work in this feels very similar to what we have seen Lee Wanell doing in movies like The Invisible Man, where it's very kinetic, and they might have even used that same like programmable camera thing, that robot thing.
Because it did. The action sequences felt very similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
to me,
very very similar. It had a little bit of a throwback vibe for me. I wouldn't say like necessarily like an 80s throwback vibe, but maybe even like a 90s. Like it didn't feel like a super modern horror movie to me, especially with like how the end plays out, because you never see that in modern movies. You saw it a lot in horror movies in the 80s and into the 90s with like the prosthetics boom, and movies like Basket Case come to mind.
Yeah.
And so it had that going for it too, which I appreciated. But with that, I also agree with you, where I'm like, I don't really get why James Wan is like one of the biggest names in horror right now either, because when you look at his filmography overall, like it's kind of like standard. Like there's like when you see a James Wan movie, and maybe he's cultivating his style with this movie, like maybe this is the beginning of something, but when you compare like The Conjuring with Insidious and stuff like that, like they're all just like kind of standard supernatural horror movies. Now, one might argue that like he's sort of the one who spearheaded that trend. When The Conjuring came out, it was a pretty big deal, and it was definitely a trendsetter. But
Yeah, and I think it was just, to me, it's he was setting up this formula of like mass market horror, where it's like not really, it's not like fully committal, like it's not really horror in any sense of the way. It's just kind of like jump scares here and there that are pretty telegraphed, so you feel kind of safe watching it, but it might get you at a moment here and there. But to me, they're just so safe.
and yeah, and
It's so
they're all
predictable.
like, the fact that franchises were created out of both Insidious and The Conjuring. It's one of those situations where like the sequels start to blend in with the original, and then it just, it gets all mashed up. Now, if we look at his other titles, like Saw, obviously, spawned a huge franchise, and I stand by the fact that are my opinions that the first Saw is a great horror film. And I even liked like Dead Silence. I liked that. That was like sort of, I believe that was his follow up to Saw. A lot of people weren't huge on that one, but whatever. I liked it.
I mean, I did appreciate the kind of the flipping on its head of the action sequence at the end. Well, there's actually two that I found interesting, in the sense that normally you have a character just annihilating people, and you're rooting for that character, whether it's like John Wick or something. There's somebody annihilating bad people, and you're just like, get them. These people are fucking awful. Do your thing. But here it's the flip side, where the villain's just annihilating people that you don't know at all, and you're just kind of like, oh my god, he's fully committed to this. I did appreciate that, because the villain kills a lot of people.
Yeah.
In very brutal ways.
Yeah, lots of really good gore effects and stuff in this too.
Which is kind of like, it's an interesting watch, because it's back to back essentially. Just annihilating a bunch of people in this setting, and then annihilating a bunch of people in this setting. They're back to back. You're not rooting for this person at all. These people really haven't done anything to warrant their annihilation, but it's happening nonetheless, and you just gotta like sit and take it, which I did find kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part of me that enjoyed that a little bit, where I was like, okay, this is a little bit different.
I liked the visual representation of when she would have the visions too, like when the murders were taking place, and like what she went through, where she was sort of transported into that situation, and forced to watch these brutal killings occur. I liked how it was like a Silent Hill type of thing, really, where it's like her current, like wherever she was, would like kind of peel away and like morph into this other setting. I liked that too. Script was not great. I thought a lot of the dialogue was cheesy, and I thought the performances were they were not.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were not really there.
No, this is like low tier TV quality, really, in terms of like script and performances. It's not.
It's very hokey.
It's not good. It's not good. But there's a couple of things in there. I like how silly it is.
It's really the end. It's the end. I mean, for me, up until the end, I was just like, ugh. This is like, for me, it was like mediocre, like pretty low tier for me. I was just, I really wasn't even that into it, honestly.
No,
until the end, and then I'm like, okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, because up until that point, it really felt like this movie had no idea what it wanted to be, because it was just stalling essentially in order to like fully go into silly mode. And
the other thing is, like,
the reveal,
like a lot of these movies, there's a mystery aspect of it. The main character and her sister are sort of trying to figure out this mystery and like what's going on and who this killer is and why these specific people are getting targeted, and how her sister somehow has this like psychic link to the killer. And the thing is, because you already, I would say most people are able to put the pieces together fairly early on. The mystery aspect of it feels so inconsequential. Like, we already know, like, we're just watching them put it together at this point. Like, we already know. Like, the audience, I would say most audience members are going to already know, at least, maybe not specifically, like, exactly what happens, but they're going to have most of it put together, you know, by the time the mystery aspect of it comes up. So, you know, a lot of that just feels not important at all. So you're just like, okay, well, let's just get on with it.
No, because there's a part of you that's just kind of like inwardly yelling at the screen, like, Jesus Christ, figure it out already.
Yeah.
Like, my God. But there's a certain thing that I think I've brought this up before, and it comes into play here, which with a lot of like horror movies and stuff now, is my question at the end of it to myself is, was it better than an episode of X-Files? Which this one slightly reminded me of season 5 episode 16 called Mind's Eye. Lily Taylor plays a blind woman that could see her dad murdering people, like, as it happened.
And
she would try and, like, you know, help out, you know, stop it or whatever. So that was the first thing I thought of. And the X-Files episode is better. Now, I like the Malignant left turn into silliness. I do appreciate that, but it's just not quite enough for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. All right, so that is Malignant. What are you going to give this out of 10?
I would give it like a 4.5, maybe a 5.
I'm sitting at a 5 on this one, pretty much straight down the middle for me. Like you, I think it's the end that really saves it. There are some good kills here and there. There's some really good camera work, some cool camera shots that definitely set it apart from just being incredibly boring and normal. But yeah, with that, I think that there's some other issues with it as well. So, I mean, I'd say it's a light recommend if you're looking for a new horror movie to watch. This
that you can watch at home.
That you can watch at home, yeah. Like this is definitely worth a look in that regard. And again, like the end is really fun. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I wanted more of that energy throughout.
Yeah, it's when it ramps up, when the action and the craziness ramps up, that it gets significantly better, I think. But
yeah, I think I would appreciate it like full 80s in that the silliness comes in the first act, and then we just ride it out till the end.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just fully embrace it. Silliness, front to back. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Again, that is Malignant. Let's talk about some of what I'm watching. I'm covering some film festivals right now, so I can't really talk about anything that I've been watching just yet. But
that's not good. I was on vacation. I didn't watch anything else.
Well, I do have a couple things that I can mention outside of that. So this will be very brief, though, because I don't have much to say about these. The first one is Superhost. This is directed by Brandon Christensen. This is on Shudder. It's a new one that just came out like last week, I think, on Shudder. What you have here is a couple who they're YouTubers, and their whole channel is all about going to different Airbnbs and reviewing them. Like, so they go to these different Airbnbs and they shoot a video of their stay, and then they sort of give it a review. And they go to this one this like lake, this really nice lake house that is like super hard to book and everything, and they finally get in, and there's some weird stuff that starts happening, and then they end up meeting the host of, you know, the owner of the house, and she turns out to be kind of crazy, and things take a violent turn. It's not good. It's very generic. I didn't like some of the turns that it took. It just not recommended. So can't recommend Superhost. Barbara Crampton's in it though for a little bit. So at least it had that going for it. It was worth a star. The only other one that I saw was Kate. This is directed by Cedric Nicholas Troyan.
Oh yeah.
This is on Netflix. This is a Netflix one. Very John Wick-esque. So if you're into the John Wick style, very visceral action, almost non-stop action, then Kate might be for you. It takes place in Japan, mostly Tokyo, but also Osaka. And I love the representation of Japan in this movie. The location. Mary Elizabeth Winstead being the main character. She's an assassin. The whole premise is like that she gets poisoned and she has about 24 hours to live. So in that 24 hours, she needs to find who poisoned her, why, and then kill them. Woody Harrelson's in this also. The plot is so unbelievably unoriginal and basic. You will be able to... I don't even need to... You can tell me right now, without even seeing anything, how this whole movie is going to play out, because it's just so generic. But that's really not why you watch a movie like this. You watch it for the action. The action is excellent. It's very good. I would say that it's... I mean, it's right up... it's not at John Wick levels, but it's up there. It's really good. The action's quite good. There's a car chase scene that really sucks. It's like all CG for some reason, and that's... But it's very short, so...
Mm-hmm.
I liked the action a lot. I thought that the story was atrocious, and everything that happens in the narrative is awful. Mary Elizabeth Winstead does a really good job. I mean, she does a great job in this action role. We've seen her do action before in the Harley Quinn movie. She was awesome in that too. So Woody Harrelson's decent in it. He's not in it a whole lot, but yeah, I don't know. Light recommend just because it's on Netflix, maybe.
I was very surprised. Like, I had no idea who the director of this movie was.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting to find out that this guy that directed The Huntsman,
yeah,
Winter's War from 20... Like, what?
Yeah, the second Huntsman movie.
What? I just, like, where the hell did he come from?
Yeah, I don't know. He did a short film called Carrot versus Ninja that he wrote. He wrote a short film in 2011.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
I don't know. He looks like a visual effects guy.
Oh, okay.
He did the visual effects for the Ring remake.
Oh, okay. 1 hour photo. Pirates of the Caribbean. All right.
I mean, the visuals in this movie were kind of cool. Like it makes Japan look fucking awesome. And there's this like through line, this like gag where the whole time Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character is looking for this drink called Bang Bang Lemon or something. And there's not a real drink called Bang Bang Lemon, but I'm pretty sure she's referring to CC Lemon, which is the best soft drink on the planet.
Oh yeah?
Oh my god, I love CC Lemon. It's so good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a carbonated lemonade, but it's like, oh my god, it's just so good. All right, let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. 2 to mention. One is Cop Shop with Gerard Butler. Someone's gonna take the hit. A little guest action movie with Gerard Butler and Frank Grillo.
Never heard of it until just now. By the guy that directed The Gray.
Oh, I liked The Gray. It was a good movie.
Well, you're gonna love Cop Shop.
I don't think I'm gonna love Cop Shop, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm gonna love it, but hey, we'll see. We also have Cry Macho coming out, which is the Clint Eastwood one.
Mm-hmm.
The story of being lost and found.
Wow.
So
inspirational.
Clint Eastwood. How about it? All right, on VOD this week. Let's see. On Today's the 12th. On the 14th, we have Bad Candy. This is a horror movie. Zach Galligan's in there. We have Royal Jelly, which is also a horror movie. Something about that title just not.
No,
Yeah,
that's bees. That's bees.
It's bees. Okay. It's bees, but it's also like could imply like something else.
Have you seen the poster?
I have seen the poster. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it looks. At first glance, you think, oh, this is trying to cash in on the Candyman thing, you know?
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, no. Let's see. We have Giddy Stratospheres coming out. This looks like a comedy, maybe. We have What She Said. That's a comedy also. We have Emma, which we covered on the show a couple weeks ago. We have Shelter in Place. That's a horror movie. Honeymooning couple gets stranded at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel and learns that there's more to fear than just cabin fever. Oh, look out. On the 15th, we have A La Cale, which is on HBO Max. Then on the 16th, we have My Heroes Were Cowboys on Netflix. Cowboy documentary? I don't fucking know. Then on Friday the 17th, we have Prisoners of the Ghostland, which is that's the Nicolas Cage Shion Sono movie. Kind of a wild one. Maybe not quite as wild as I had hoped, but pretty wild nonetheless. Yeah. We have Lady of the Manor, which is a comedy. We got Bestsellers, which is with Michael Caine and Aubrey Plaza. We got The Killing of Kenneth Chamberlain. The Mad Women's Ball, that's going to be on Amazon Prime. We got Last Night in Rozzy. Cop Shop. Everybody,
Cop Shop.
Yep. Everybody's talking about Jamie. That's also going to be on Amazon Prime. We have Saint Narcissi, which is that's a Bruce LaBruce movie.
Okay.
Haven't seen him in a while. We have Collection. Looks like a action thriller, maybe. We have Little Girl. That is a documentary. We have Apartment 413, which is a horror movie. We got 23 Walks, which is a comedy drama.
Ooh.
And we got the Nowhere Inn also, which is that's the St. Vincent Carrie Brownstein one. On Blu-ray this week. Let's see.
There's a lot of VOD stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. It is a lot. On Blu-ray this week we have Black Widow coming out. Got Alone in the Dark from 1982. Shawshank Redemption's getting a 4K release.
Shawshank.
Yeah. Cold War Creatures is a 4-film collection from Arrow. It's coming out 1955 to 1957. It's 4 films from Sam Katzman. Perfect Blue is coming out. Looks like a steel book on Perfect Blue. Paranorman's getting some kind of new release. Looks like the Leica stuff is getting re-released because Kubo is also coming out.
Okay.
Death Screams from 1982 is coming out on Arrow. I want to see that.
Did you say Death Scream or
Death Screams? Plural.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it being plural makes it better.
He wants your body in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to see this. 80s slasher. Let's see. We got Eli Roth's History of Horror. Oh, no, that's a TV show. Fuck that. Zola is coming out. I would recommend that if you haven't seen that yet. Boss Baby, Family Business, The French Conspiracy from 1972. Censor is coming out. Talked about that a few weeks ago. Rafifi in Paris from 1966. Howling Village. Let's see. Masquerade. Catch the Bullet.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah. Catch the Bullet. The Western from last year, from the looks of it. Hunters from earlier this year. That's pretty much it. What about Criterion's?
We just have one, and that's Neil Jordan's Mona Lisa from 1986. Bob Hoskins, Michael Caine, Kathy Tyson. And the funny thing is pulling this page up to see what the Criterions were, because this is, my job. It reminded me that I started this movie like a month ago, and I forgot all about it.
Oh, okay.
And I never finished it. So I wasn't really into it that much. But maybe I'll get back to it.
Yeah, perhaps. I've been there too, where like I start a movie and then just totally forget about it.
I had no idea. As soon as I pulled it up, I'm like, Mona Lisa. Oh yeah, that's right. Whoops.
It's funny. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, consider reviewing us on iTunes. That would be extremely helpful. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.